Do you know anyone who wants to transform their life, but keeps falling back into the same habits? Someone who wakes up with motivation, promises themselves they'll train harder, work with more focus, cut out distractions, and stay consistent, only to collapse after a few stressful days? Maybe they buy planners, download productivity apps, watch discipline videos, and write goals on their wall. Yet nothing truly changes. Everything slips as soon as life gets busy. You've probably seen it in people around you. You might have lived it yourself. But what if I told you there's a system in Japan, built over centuries of warrior training, that forged some of the most disciplined human beings in history? A system that shaped monks, swordsmen, scholars, and soldiers. A system built on silence, structure, and self-control. So strong that even modern science studies it today. And the most surprising part? You can use the same system to rebuild your mind and behavior in just 100 days. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe, hit like, and tell me in the comments which part of your life you want strengthened. Your feedback shapes every video I make. Now let's begin. Chapter 1. The morning he realized his life was slipping away. This story begins in Tokyo, but not the bright, fast, neon Tokyo people imagine. This is the quieter side, the narrow backstreets, the subdued apartments, the early morning stillness before the trains roar awake. A 32-year-old man named Hiroshi Tanaka lived there. Hiroshi worked at a mid-level accounting firm in Shinjuku. He wasn't extraordinary, but he wasn't a failure either. He lived in that strange space between surviving and sinking, where life feels stable on the outside, yet chaotic inside. Every morning began the same way. Wake up tired, hit snooze 3 times, promise himself he'll fix his routine tomorrow, rush to catch the train, spend the day buried under numbers and deadlines, come home exhausted, scroll on his phone until he felt empty, sleep late, repeat. He wasn't irresponsible. He wasn't lazy. He was simply worn down. His girlfriend, Aiko, had started noticing the cracks. They used to spend evenings walking along the river, talking about their future. These days, Hiroshi barely spoke. He didn't mean to drift away. It just happened. One Thursday morning, everything changed. It started with a small mistake, one that shouldn't have mattered. He overslept again. The sun was already high, his phone buzzing with notifications from work, and he felt the familiar pit in his stomach. He rushed out the door, skipping breakfast. By the time he reached the station, the train was pulling away. He sighed, defeated before the day even started. But the breaking point wasn't the train. It wasn't the job. It wasn't even the exhaustion. It was what happened at home later that night. After a long, blurry day at the office, Hiroshi returned to his apartment, dropped his bag, and collapsed onto the couch. Aiko sat at the table, staring at a half-cooked dinner. "You forgot," she said. Hiroshi blinked. "Forgot what?" "My presentation. I asked you to help me practice tonight." He froze. He had promised her. He remembered promising. He just didn't remember anything after that. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I had a long day." Aiko didn't get angry. She didn't raise her voice. She just looked defeated. "You always have long days, Hiroshi," she said quietly. "You're here, but you're not here. You're drifting. You're losing yourself, and you don't see it." Her words struck deeper than she knew, because Hiroshi did feel himself slipping into stress, into numbness, into a fog he couldn't shake. That night, lying awake in the dark, he stared at the ceiling and wondered how his life had become so small. And then something unexpected happened. His phone buzzed with a message from his older brother, Kenji. "If you keep living like this, you're going to break. Meet me Saturday morning, 6 a.m. I'm taking you to someone who helped me years ago." Hiroshi frowned. "Who?" Kenji replied. "A man trained in the old Japanese warrior system. He taught me discipline when I had none. He can do the same for you." Hiroshi didn't know what to think. Warrior system? Samurai discipline? 6 a.m.? He almost said no, but then he remembered Aiko's face. her disappointment, her sadness. He remembered the train he missed, the exhaustion he carried every day, the routines he never kept. Something had to change. So, on Saturday morning, before dawn even touched the buildings, Hiroshi stood outside his apartment, cold air filling his lungs, waiting for Kenji, not knowing that the next 100 days would rebuild his life in ways he never imagined, not knowing he was about to meet a man who would show him what discipline truly meant, not knowing he was stepping into a system that once forged warriors. And it all started with a single decision. He refused to keep living as a ghost in his own life. Chapter 2. The Master Who Broke Him Before He Could Begin. The next morning carried a feeling Liang couldn't name. It wasn't excitement. It wasn't fear. It was something in between, like standing at the edge of cold water before stepping in. His alarm rang at 5:45 a.m., and for the first time in months, he didn't hit snooze. He sat up slowly, rubbing his eyes. His body resisted. His mind whispered, "Go back to sleep." But he swung his legs out of bed anyway. Rue was already awake, brushing her hair in the bathroom mirror. Their eyes met, and she paused for a second. "You're up early again," she said. "Trying," he replied. There was no judgment in her voice this time, just quiet support. It gave him a small push forward. He grabbed his shoes, stepped outside, and walked through the early morning air. The city was still waking up. Street vendors setting up their carts. Elderly residents doing Tai Chi in the courtyard of their apartment blocks. Delivery motorcycles warming their engines. For once, Liang wasn't rushing. He wasn't late. He wasn't exhausted. He was simply walking. By the time he reached Master Chio's seemingly forgotten courtyard, the old man was already sweeping the stones, each stroke deliberate and steady, like a ritual older than the street itself. When Master Chio saw him, he did not smile. He did not nod. He simply stopped sweeping, leaned the broom against the wall, and said, "You came back. Good." Liang bowed gently. "I said I would." "Yes," Master Chio replied. "But your promises have not held much weight these past years." The words hit harder than Liang expected. "Sit," the master said. Liang walked to the meditation bench inside the small room. The same plain wooden seat, the same empty walls, the same small window looking out into swaying bamboo. 10 minutes, Master Chio said. No movement, no escape. He closed the door. The 10-minute battle. Liang inhaled, exhaled, tried to steady himself. But today something was different. His thoughts weren't just loud. They were vicious. By the second minute, his back felt tight. By the third, a bead of sweat slid down his temple. By the fourth, his mind was screaming, "This is pointless. You have work today. Why are you here? You'll fail anyway. You could be sleeping right now." He clenched his jaw, trying not to move. By minute 6, the pain in his legs pulsed like fire. By minute 8, the room felt suffocating. He wanted to stand. He wanted to quit. He wanted to walk out and pretend this whole thing never happened. But he remembered what Master Chio said. A chaotic mind cannot build order. And so he stayed. When Master Chio opened the door, Liang's shirt was damp with sweat. His breathing was uneven. His eyes felt tired. "You suffered more today," the master said. "Yes," Liang admitted. "Because yesterday you fought discomfort. Today you faced yourself." The meaning sat in Liang's chest like a heavy stone. "Stand," Master Chio instructed. Liang stood, legs shaky. "Today you will learn Rule 2. He walked to the courtyard center and placed a second stone beside the first one from yesterday. Rule 1 was the mind. Rule 2 is the body. Liang nodded slowly. Master Chio looked him directly in the eyes. Rule 2. Your body must obey you, not the other way around. Liang frowned. What does that mean? The master motioned for him to follow. The breaking of the body. They entered a narrow side room Liang hadn't noticed before. Inside there was nothing except a wooden pole standing upright in the center. Hit it, Master Chio said. With what? Your hand. Liang blinked. I don't know martial arts. I am not asking for martial arts. I am asking for obedience. Master Chiu stepped closer. Your mind decides. Your body executes. This pole teaches that gap. Liang sighed and positioned himself. He felt awkward, clumsy, embarrassed. He struck the pole lightly. Thud. Master Chiu raised an eyebrow. Again. Liang hit it harder. Thud. His knuckles stung. Again. Thud. Pain flared through his hand. Again. Liang hesitated. His hand trembled. Master Chiu suddenly slapped the back of Liang's shoulder, not hard, but sharp enough to jolt him. This is where most men fail, the master said softly. Your body gives discomfort. Your mind panics, and you obey the panic. Liang swallowed. You think discipline is mental strength, Master Chiu continued. But when the body resists, the mind collapses. Today, you will stop collapsing. Liang exhaled slowly, braced himself, and hit the pole again. Thud. The pain shot up to his wrist. He gritted his teeth. Again. Thud. He felt skin scrape. Again. Thud. His breath shook. Stop, the master finally said. Liang's hand throbbed violently. Master Chiu lifted Liang's injured hand and examined it. You think discipline is courage, he said. It is not. It is repetition. He wrapped Liang's knuckles in a simple cloth. You will strike again tomorrow. Liang nodded, still breathing hard. Now, the old master said, we move to today's real training. Liang froze. That wasn't the real training. No, that was the warm-up. The walk that was not a walk. Master Chiu guided him outside into the quiet streets behind the courtyard. It seemed peaceful, but Liang knew better now. Stillness meant confrontation. Silence meant exposure. Today, the master said, you walk slowly. Yesterday, you walked normally. Today, you walk at half that speed. Why? Because the slower the body moves, the louder the mind gets. And you must hear it. Liang took his first slow steps. At first it felt silly, then uncomfortable, then unbearable. Every instinct screamed at him to speed up. People passed him, glancing curiously. A few teenagers snickered. A delivery driver honked impatiently. But Liang kept going, his mind flooded with thoughts. This is so stupid. People must think I'm crazy. Why is everything so slow? Why is my heart racing from just walking? His legs burned. His chest tightened. But he stayed slow. With every step, he realized something. He had spent years rushing through life without ever being in it. By the time he returned to the courtyard, his shirt was soaked again. Master Chiu didn't praise him. He didn't need to. He simply said, "Good. You obeyed the pace." That is rare. The lesson of obedience. Back inside the courtyard, Master Chiu sat on the wooden platform, while Liang tried to steady his breath. Rule 2 is about obedience, the master explained. Not blind obedience. Self-obedience. He placed both hands on his knees. Most men obey their exhaustion. Most men obey their cravings. Most men obey comfort. Most men obey fear. He leaned forward. A disciplined man obeys his decisions. Liang absorbed the words slowly. All day, the master continued, your body fought you. It begged you to stop, but you did not stop. Today, you learned the smallest amount of control. Tomorrow, you will learn more. Liang nodded, feeling a weight inside him he couldn't name. Not fear, not pride, something deeper. You may leave, the master said. Return at sunrise. Liang bowed and stepped out of the gate. Rui's eyes. When he arrived home, Rui looked up from folding clothes. You look exhausted. I am, he said honestly. But your face, she paused, squinting. You look clearer. Before he could respond, she noticed the cloth around his knuckles. What happened? Training, he said simply. She opened her mouth to ask more, then closed it. Be careful. I will. Her concern wasn't sharp this time. It felt warm. Dinner. That evening, he practiced the silent dinner again. But tonight, he noticed something new. He wasn't rushing. He wasn't fidgeting. He wasn't checking his phone. He wasn't thinking about tomorrow's problems. He was just eating. Linlin watched him for a moment and said, "Daddy, you're different." Liang looked at her and felt something tighten in his throat. "I'm trying," he said. She smiled, without teasing him this time. "You're doing good," she said softly. Those words stayed in his chest long after dinner. The night attack. When everyone went to sleep, Liang sat on the floor of the living room, legs crossed, breathing slowly, just as Master Chiu taught. But then came the voice. "You're doing all this for nothing. You're too old to change. You'll embarrass yourself at work tomorrow. This won't last. You're pretending to be someone you aren't." The doubts came harder than ever, sharper, more personal. He clenched his fists. His wrapped knuckles throbbed. His heart pounded. The voice kept pushing. "Quit before you fail. Quit before people laugh. Quit before Master Chiu sees how weak you really are." Liang closed his eyes. Inhale, exhale. He remembered the master's words. "The mind is wind. You are the bamboo." So he breathed again, and again, and again. The storm didn't disappear, but it passed, slowly, and for the first time in years. It didn't control him. What he didn't expect. Just as he stood to go to bed, his phone buzzed. A message from his boss. "Be in my office at 9 tomorrow. We need to discuss your performance." Under normal circumstances, panic would have hit him like a collapsing building. But tonight, he breathed in, he breathed out, and instead of fear, he felt something else. Not confidence, not relief, but readiness. Tomorrow might break him, or it might rebuild him. Either way, he would face it. And for the first time in a long time, he felt he could. Chapter 3. The Silent War Inside You. Most people think discipline is something you show the world. They imagine waking up early, working out, studying, grinding, and proving to everyone that they're focused. But real discipline doesn't start on the outside. It starts in a silent place inside you, a place no one sees, and most people never learn to control. This inner world is where every battle begins. Before you skip a workout, before you procrastinate, before you tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, the fight already happened in your mind. And if you lost in your mind, the world will see the result. The truth is that your mind is running 24 hours a day. It's always talking, pushing, distracting, worrying, planning, comparing, doubting, or getting lost in loops that make you feel stuck. The modern world adds even more noise. Social media tells you you're behind. Notifications break your focus. Endless entertainment pulls you toward comfort. Every force around you wants you to be passive, distracted, and compliant. That's why the strongest people today aren't the ones with muscles or money. They're the ones who have learned to win the silent war inside themselves. They can sit with discomfort without escaping. They can focus without getting pulled into noise. They can make decisions based on purpose instead of impulse. They can move forward even when motivation is gone. This silent war is something Miyamoto Musashi understood deeply. He wrote that the mind is like a battlefield. You must train yourself to stay grounded no matter what comes. If fear rises, don't let it carry you. If anger rises, don't let it control you. If comfort whispers, don't let it weaken you. He believed that every skill in life flows from mastering your inner state. Most people lose this war without realizing it. They think life is hard because of work, family problems, or bad luck. They don't notice that the biggest enemy is the untrained mind that reacts to everything automatically. You can see this everywhere. Someone tries to quit a bad habit, but the craving wins. Someone wants to focus, but they pick up their phone without thinking. Someone wants to improve, but they get lost in self-doubt. These are not failures of ability. They're failures of inner discipline. The first step to winning the silent war is awareness. You have to notice your thoughts before they drag you. You have to notice your patterns before they control your day. Most people are living through routines they never chose. They wake up and immediately check their phone. They scroll without thinking. They react to every message. They start their day with chaos, not clarity. And the chaos follows them for the rest of the day. Musashi practiced something simple but powerful. Before he acted, he paused. He observed. He would watch his own thoughts rise and fall, Then choose the right action with calm. He didn't rush. He didn't react. He responded with intention. This is something you can do too, and it will change everything. Think about how often you react without thinking. Someone irritates you and you snap. You feel tired and you skip what matters. You get bored and you reach for a distraction. These moments seem small, but they shape the kind of person you become. Each reaction is like a vote. It either strengthens your discipline or weakens it. Winning the silent war means taking those moments seriously. It means asking yourself small but important questions. Is this action moving me forward or pulling me back? Am I doing this because I want to or because it's easy? Is this comfort helping me or hurting me? Am I avoiding something I need to face? These questions force you to wake up inside your own life. They turn autopilot into awareness. And once you're aware, you can choose better. Another part of the silent war is emotional discipline. Emotions are like storms. They rise fast, they feel intense, and they can destroy your direction if you're not careful. Fear can stop you from trying. Anger can push you into mistakes. Sadness can drain your will. But emotions are temporary. They only win when you let them decide your actions. Musashi wrote that you must control your mind even when fear is present. He didn't say to eliminate fear. He understood that fear is natural. The real strength is in acting with clarity even while fear is there. This is true for every emotion. You don't need to feel motivated to act. You don't need to feel confident to start. You don't need to feel ready to take the next step. The silent war is won by doing what must be done, regardless of how you feel in the moment. There is another enemy in this war: distraction. Distraction is one of the greatest weapons the world uses against you. It steals your attention, which is the most valuable resource you have. Your attention determines your future. Where you place your focus decides who you become. If your attention is scattered, your life will be scattered. If your attention is disciplined, your life will be disciplined. Most people lose hours of their day to meaningless content. They think they're relaxing, but they're really being drained. They think they're escaping stress, but they're feeding it. They think they're just killing time, but time is the one thing they can never get back. Winning the silent war means reclaiming your attention. It means setting boundaries. It means creating spaces where you can think clearly and work deeply. It means choosing what you consume instead of letting it consume you. Another part of the silent war is the conflict between who you are and who you could be. Every person carries two versions of themselves. One is the version shaped by comfort, excuses, and fear. The other is the version shaped by action, discipline, and growth. These two sides are always fighting. Each day you make choices that strengthen one version and weaken the other. You're never staying the same. You're either rising or falling. The silent war decides which direction you go. There will be days when you feel defeated. Days when your mind is loud. Days when you feel heavy. Days when doubts creep in. This is normal. The silent war is not about being perfect. It's about refusing to surrender. It's about getting up again and again. It's about choosing progress even when it feels like you're moving slow. Musashi believed that true strength comes from consistency. Even small actions, repeated daily, create something powerful over time. Just one disciplined choice can shift the path of your entire day. 1 hour of focus can do more than a whole week of distracted effort. One moment of courage can change your future. When you start to win small battles inside yourself, something interesting happens. Your outer life begins to change. You start finishing what you begin. You stay committed longer. You stop relying on motivation. You make decisions with clarity. And people notice. They may not see the battles you fought, but they see the results. The silent war inside you is not a curse. It's an opportunity. It's a training ground. It's the place where your real identity is built. Every challenge, every temptation, every moment of doubt is a chance to grow stronger. Think of your mind like a sword. If you never sharpen it, it stays dull. But if you sharpen it every day, even in small ways, it becomes a tool that cuts through obstacles with ease. Musashi knew this. He sharpened his mind as much as he sharpened his blade. You don't need to become a warrior in the traditional sense, but you do need to become a warrior within your own life. You need to build an inner strength that cannot be shaken by minor problems or distractions. You need to learn how to stay centered even when the world is chaotic. You need to trust yourself enough to act even when things feel uncertain. Winning the silent war will not make your life easier, but it will make you stronger. And when you become stronger, life becomes more manageable. Challenges feel smaller. Discomfort becomes familiar. Fear becomes something you walk through instead of run from. The world may never understand the battles you fight inside, but you will feel the difference. You will see it in your choices. You will feel it in your mindset. You will notice it in your habits. And eventually, you will live a life shaped by intention instead of impulse. This is what Musashi meant when he spoke about true discipline. It is not about forcing yourself. It is about training yourself. It is about becoming someone who can stand firm in any situation. Someone who can act with clarity. Someone who doesn't break under pressure. Someone who is guided by purpose, not comfort. The silent war inside you is the most important battle of your life. And when you start winning it, even in small ways, everything else begins to align. You move through the world differently. You carry yourself with calm. You stop being shaken by noise. You become someone others look at and think, how are they so focused? It's not magic. It's training. It's discipline. It's the result of choosing to control your inner world instead of letting it control you. That's the power of the silent war. And it's the path to becoming someone unshakable. Chapter 4. The discipline that feels like freedom. Most people think discipline feels restrictive. They imagine a life full of rules, routines, and limits. They picture someone who wakes up early, works nonstop, and avoids anything enjoyable. They think discipline means saying no to everything. But the truth is much simpler. Discipline doesn't trap you. It frees you. Think about someone who lives without discipline. Their day is full of chaos. They struggle to keep promises. They start projects but never finish them. Their emotions control them. They fall into distractions without noticing. They feel guilty for not doing enough, but they don't know how to break the cycle. At the end of the day, they feel stuck. On the surface, they might look free, but they're tied to every impulse their mind throws at them. Now think about someone who has built quiet, steady discipline. Their life looks structured, but they feel lighter. They know what matters each day. They can focus when they need to. They can rest without guilt. They can pursue goals without being dragged off track. They respond to problems with calm. They don't waste energy on things that don't matter. They don't carry the weight of unfinished intentions. This is why discipline is a kind of freedom. It removes the invisible chains that comfort and distraction create. Musashi understood this long before modern psychology existed. He believed the greatest constraint in life is not the world outside, but the mind inside. When your inner world is disorganized, everything feels heavy. When your inner world is clear and trained, everything feels possible. The problem is that most people misunderstand discipline because they chase it the wrong way. They treat it like a punishment. They try to force themselves to be strict. They push themselves too hard for a few days, burn out, and then collapse back into comfort. Discipline built on pressure doesn't last. Discipline built on clarity does. To build real discipline, you have to understand what pulls you down. The main force is comfort, and comfort is powerful. It feels warm, safe, and familiar. It whispers that you can rest a little longer. It tells you that you can start tomorrow. It argues that life is already difficult, so you deserve an easier path. But comfort is tricky. It never stops at a little. Once you give it power, it becomes your master. The more you obey it, the weaker you feel. The weaker you feel, the more you rely on comfort. And the cycle continues. Soon you're stuck in a life that feels soft on the outside, but hollow on the inside. The freedom of discipline comes from breaking that cycle. This doesn't require dramatic changes. It starts with one simple shift: deciding to take responsibility for your inner world. Not in a heavy way. Not in a perfectionist way. Just in a clear, honest way. Ask yourself questions that most people avoid. Where am I avoiding effort? What am I distracting myself from? What emotions do I run from? What promises do I keep breaking? What part of me is stronger, my purpose or my impulses? These questions feel uncomfortable, but that discomfort is the beginning of freedom. You can't change what you never examine. Musashi spent years studying his own mind. He believed that self-understanding is the first step toward self-mastery. When you see your patterns clearly, you stop being controlled by them. There is a quiet truth inside every disciplined person. They were not born stronger. They simply learned how to act even when their mind resisted. They learned how to ignore the excuses that once sounded convincing. They learned how to stop negotiating with laziness. They learned how to move forward one honest step at a time. Discipline grows in those small moments. You wake up and feel tired, but you show up anyway. You feel like scrolling, but you stay focused. You feel like skipping a task, but you do the first 5 minutes. You feel fear, but you take a small step. You feel doubt, but you keep going. These choices look tiny, but they build something big. Each one rewires your identity. Each one proves to yourself that you can rely on your own word. And once you trust yourself, life opens up. You stop fearing your own weaknesses. You stop hiding from effort. You stop avoiding responsibility. That's the moment discipline becomes freedom. There's another layer to this. When you build discipline, your emotional world becomes more stable. Not because emotions disappear, but because they no longer dominate you. When something goes wrong, you don't fall apart. When you feel overwhelmed, you don't lose direction. When someone disrespects you, you don't react blindly. You learn how to stay grounded, even when the situation around you feels like a storm. Musashi wrote that you must stay calm even when chaos surrounds you. This wasn't poetry. It was a practical instruction. A warrior who panics loses. A person who panics also loses, just in different battles. Panic makes you impulsive. Stress blinds you. Anger closes your mind. But discipline anchors you. People think this kind of stability requires extreme toughness, but it really comes from practice. Every time you choose the right action over the easy action, you make your inner world steadier. You prove to yourself that you can handle discomfort. And when you know you can handle discomfort, fear loses its grip. That's another kind of freedom. Freedom from fear of effort. Freedom from fear of failure. Freedom from the limits you placed on yourself when comfort was in control. Discipline also creates freedom through momentum. When you keep doing the right things long enough, the results start to appear. You get healthier. You think clearer. You manage time better. You finish projects. You reach milestones. You feel proud of your own consistency. You start believing you can achieve much more. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in life. But you can't buy it. You can't borrow it. You build it one step at a time. Most people never experience real momentum because they quit when things feel slow. They check their progress too early, get discouraged, and fall back into comfort. But people with discipline understand something simple. Slow progress is still progress. As long as you keep moving, you're winning. Musashi achieved mastery through years of small, steady, consistent training. He didn't get better because he was talented. He got better because he refused to stop. He believed that constant improvement creates unstoppable strength. This idea applies to every part of life, not just skill, but character, mindset, habits, and identity. Freedom comes from the confidence that you can build the life you want, not through luck, but through effort that repeats. That confidence only appears when you've earned it through discipline. There's another reason discipline feels freeing. It allows you to say no with clarity. When you lack discipline, you say yes to everything. You say yes to distractions, to unhealthy habits, to people who drain you, to impulses that break your focus. But when you know your priorities, saying no becomes easy. You no longer feel guilty for protecting your time and energy. You no longer feel pressured to follow the crowd. You no longer bend your life to fit other people's expectations. You start living with intention. This is one of the greatest freedoms a person can experience. The freedom to design your own life instead of drifting through it. The freedom to choose your direction instead of being pulled around by everything around you. The freedom to build something meaningful instead of surviving on autopilot. If discipline feels heavy at the beginning, it's because you're fighting old habits. Those habits won't disappear quickly. They will resist. They will argue. They will try to pull you back. That's normal. Your mind loves routine, even if the routine isn't good for you. But once the old habits weaken and new habits take their place, discipline stops feeling like effort. It starts feeling natural. What once felt hard becomes simple. What once felt impossible becomes routine. What once felt like sacrifice becomes identity. This is the point where discipline becomes a form of self-respect. You start protecting your mind because you value it. You start caring for your health because you need strength for your goals. You start organizing your life because you know chaos slows you down. You start thinking long-term because short-term comfort no longer satisfies you. Discipline doesn't erase your personality. It reveals the best version of it. It clears the fog that comfort creates. It helps you see what you're truly capable of. It gives you the structure to build a life you won't regret. Musashi wrote that a person must live with no waste in mind or action. This doesn't mean living a robotic life. It means living a life where your energy isn't leaking into things that don't matter. When your energy is directed toward what truly matters, you feel lighter, not heavier. And that's the real secret. Discipline feels like freedom because it removes the weight of regret. Regret is heavy. It stays with you. It grows over time. It becomes a burden you carry for years. When you live without discipline, regret becomes unavoidable. You regret the opportunities you didn't take. You regret the habits you didn't build. You regret the time you wasted. But when you live with discipline, regret has nowhere to grow. You may not be perfect, but you're moving. You're improving. You're trying. You're building something. And that gives you peace. Not the shallow comfort of distraction, but the deep peace that comes from honesty with yourself. Freedom isn't the absence of rules. Freedom is the ability to choose the life you want with a clear mind, a strong will, and a disciplined heart. Comfort can't give you that. Distraction can't give you that. Impulse can't give you that. Only discipline can. And once you feel that kind of freedom, you never want to go back. If you reach this point, it means something inside you is already changing. Maybe it's small. Maybe it's quiet. But it's real. Most people click away by the third minute. They get distracted. They switch tabs. They drift back into the noise that controls them. You didn't. You stayed until the end of a video about focus, discipline, and mental clarity. That tells me more about you than anything you could write. So I'm going to ask you for something simple. Not a life makeover. Not a 30-day challenge. Not a complete system. Just one tiny action that proves you're ready to reclaim your attention. Comment below the smallest thing you will do tomorrow to reduce distractions. Not your master plan. Not your dream schedule. Just the next microscopic step. It could be turning your phone face down during breakfast. Closing one extra browser tab. Setting a 10-minute timer to work with no interruptions. Leaving your room a little cleaner than you found it. Or even taking one slow breath before you touch your phone. You don't need to impress anyone. You just need to show your mind that you're in control again. When you write it publicly, something powerful happens. It stops being a thought. It becomes a commitment. And commitments shape identity. I'll read every comment. And 2 weeks from now, I'll come back to see who kept their promise, who trained their mind for 10 minutes a day, who resisted the pull of distraction for the first time in years, who began shifting from noise to clarity, from chaos to direction, from scattered to focused. Remember something important. You don't need motivation. You need a system, a path, a method you can follow even on days when your brain feels foggy and your willpower feels thin. If you watch this far, thank you for your time and your attention. It means you are serious about transforming your focus, and building a mind that works for you, not against you. I'll see you in the next video. And until then, stay centered, stay sharp, walk with purpose, and keep your mind on the path.